Well, hello there, my most amazing artist. I hope that you had fun drawing your basic shapes. I hope everyone knows what a circle is. Circle, that's kind of like a circle. And a triangle, sort of like a triangle. And a square and a rectangle. And some of you know what a diamond and an oval is. If you forget, here are your basic shapes. There's a triangle. It's made of 3 lines. A square is made of 4 equal lines. A diamond is sort of like a square turned sideways. A rectangle has 2 longer lines and 2 shorter lines. And of course we have our big circle, and an oval is like a circle that someone squished in the middle. Okay. Now we're going to do something really fun. We are going to do printmaking, and we are going to create shapes with pieces of cardboard and black paint. So let me show you what my tray looks like. I have this tray of stuff. It has black paint, and it has little things like a circle, some styrofoam, cardboard, and we are going to print with these items. You will need to check and make sure that your name is on your paper before you start. I've written your name on your paper. And let me show you what to do. Okay, your paper should be on your messy mat. And here's my tray of stuff. Now when I am printmaking, I am going to dip all around. I'm going to dip what I'm going to print make all around into my paint. So if you look, the bottom of that circle has paint all over it. And printmaking is like stamping. So if you've ever stamped something, you're going to press it down and pick it up, and it printed a circle. Now that's wet paint. So if I do that, it's going to smudge, and we don't want to do that. So be sure that you keep your fingers out of it and only print with your cardboard, your circle shapes, and your styrofoam shapes. So now let me do something more creative. Now I'm going to make a triangle. So I'm stamping this in the paint, and if you notice, there's paint on there. And I'm going to try to fix that place that I just messed up. So I'm going to stamp, stamp. I know a triangle is 3 lines. And stamp. So now I made a triangle. I could also put this back, and when I put this back, I'm going to be careful not to get paint all over everything. So I'm going to put it back very carefully. Now I may make a square. So I haven't used this styrofoam thing yet, and it's really thick. So I'm going to dip it in the paint. I don't want too much paint, but I want enough. So I'm going to look at it. It's on there. And I'm going to stamp down, pick up, stamp down, pick up, stamp down, pick up, stamp down, pick up. If you notice, the first one is really dark, and the next one, my paint was running out. So if I want to redo it, I just get more paint and stamp, more paint and stamp, more paint and stamp. Just like that. And I can make it a more perfect shape, just like that. Okay. So what I want you to do is print make all kinds of shapes on here. You can overlap them. So let's say I want to do a square over here. I can overlap my triangle and make a square. And what that is going to do is that's going to make an even different shape in different spaces. So I want to see all kinds of shapes on here. You may even want to try to do letters. So my last name starts with a K, and a K is 1 line down. And let's see, this is a little bit too big, so let me see if I can find a different size. Okay, and 1 line up, and 1 line down. So now I have a K on my paper. You're going to overlap and add lots of shapes on this. Then I'm going to help you place it on the drying rack, and it'll dry for next week, and next week we will color our shapes in. But it needs to dry first, so we won't do any coloring until next week. Okay, I'm going to finish this, and then I will show you what mine looks like. Okay, I am finished with my project. I have lots of shapes. I have circles, I have rectangles, I have diamonds, I have squares, I have triangles, I have lots of different shapes, and then I have just some lines. Now my paint is wet, so I'm being very careful not to touch it, because if I touch it, I'm going to smear it. So we're going to put these on the drying rack, and then I want to show you one other thing. On your tray, you want to be very careful to keep these items out of the paint. You don't want to stick it in the paint. You want to leave them along the edges so that they stay clean to hold. One edge should have paint, but the other three, that one's clean, that one is clean, that one's the one that has paint, and that one is clean. So we don't want to stick our shapes into the paint. That's a no. We want to keep them along the edge. That way we can pick them up and hold them and stamp them in. Okay, we also don't want to paint with them. This is printmaking. That means you stamp it in, you stamp it on your paper, and you pick it up. You press down, pick up. You never paint with this. If you paint with it, let me show you on my messy mat. If you paint with it, it just makes a mess. It doesn't make anything but a mess. So be sure that you are printing to make really fun lines and shapes. There we go. I printed a square. This looks a lot better than this because I printed with it. All right. I'm going to pass out some baby wipes while y'all work. So if your fingers get dirty, you can wipe them on a baby wipe. I'm only going to give you one, so be sure you're not getting really dirty. Your fingers should not get dirty. These should be clean so you can hold them and just stamp one end in. Let's have fun making some printed shapes.